the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, welcome everybody. Hey Mark.
Hey, good morning.
How are you? Ask the Secretary Treasurer to start with the roll.
Edward J. Warner is absent today. Ann Walker.
Here.
William Parrish is running late. He's not here. President Scott
I am
Howard.
here.
And William Powell is here.
Okay. We do have
We have a quorum.
quorum here, barely. But we have some discussions on. We'll get right to business here. Welcome everybody to the September 6th work session. Board of Trustees. Scallop Pond Preserve Nature Conservancy, Trustee Pell.
Come on out. I guess we're gonna discuss the new, you can sit here and sign it.
Yeah, come on over here.
Sit up here.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Relaxing.
Yeah. It's like sitting in next, only thing we need is a fireplace.
Nice to see you.
Good to see you again.
Is it on that screen? Yeah. All right.
Okay, so yeah, I'm the Conservation Lands Director for the Nature Conservancy on Long Island, Joe Jansen. And as you probably know, we own a preserve off of Scotts Road called Scallop Pond Preserve. Currently, there is no signage informing the public that there's actually a preserve down there. If you actually go to Scotts Road, it looks like a dirt driveway. It's actually a trustee access road that gets down
We actually
to our
own the
preserve.
road.
You own the road, yes, I'm aware. And the only signage is private property, sort of no trespassing signs, so it's not very inviting to the people that want to visit the Nature Conservancy property out there. So what we're interested in doing is, there's a couple options. One, the larger sign at the bottom is what we typically put at one of our preserves. I know a couple of you were recently at our Wolf Swamp Preserve and got to
Great.
see that, got to see a sign. That's the larger sign that we typically put out at the road for one of our preserves. That's one option. There's currently one of those signs in the preserve once you get down that trustee road. The other options are the much smaller ones, which could be out at the road. One that's set before you get to the preserve that tells you it's the next left, or if you're coming from the other way, it would be the next right. Or one that's right at the trustee access road that's a Scallop Preserve with an arrow pointing in. That one's about a foot across the top. The larger one's about 3 feet across, which again is typically put to mark our preserves. So we're just interested in, it's not very inviting at the moment. We're just interested in letting people know there is a nature preserve down there. We do have it on our website as a place for people to visit. But if you're not familiar, once you encounter it, it's not very inviting to go down that road at the current moment. So we're just here to ask permission to see if we can put some variation of one of those signs or something else if there's something that you would like to see.
That makes sense, right?
So
You want-
your property is the south side of the road, correct?
Of the trustee access road, yes. Once you get in and it starts to bend, we're on that south side.
Okay.
what-
And the parking
Yeah.
at Scallop Pond is solely at the end of the road,
Correct.
really?
Yes,
Right?
yes.
Let me think about it. Okay.
Right by that one bend, a couple cars can park. Is that one bend as you go down?
You could.
Yeah, because I usually
Mhm.
park there and walk down.
Yeah, I think the majority of people do tend to drive it to the end
Yeah.
and park.
And what side, when you looking at it, you would put it on the south side of the road?
We could-
As the entranceway?
We could, I mean, the intent would be that the signs would be double-sided, so you could see
Double-sided.
it from either direction, so it could be on either side of
I
the
would,
road.
myself, I would like to see some type of like a trustee art on the sign,
Okay,
or emblem on it,
sure.
like a joint venture.
We could definitely do that. We could get your, the emblem and put that
That's
on
a
the
good
sign.
idea.
Because it is you're absolutely right, the only access is the
The
trustee's
trustees, so-
property.
Yeah. and
So we could do that.
And it's a joint effort to keep it clean and.
Yep,
and let
Collaborative
people-
effort.
You know, we fixed the road, we spent a lot of money on.
you
the
did,
road.
and it's great, it's much improved.
We ran out of material at the end, entranceway, we didn't wanna bring that many people down. They go
Sure.
fast.
Yeah, I understand.
Yeah, if you
Okay,
can come
yeah.
back with this, with like our emblem on this, you
On
know, like
sign?
on it, or something, or a joint venture with the Southampton Town Trustees.
We could do that. And are you thinking more the smaller version or the larger
I
preserve
would go,
sign?
myself, I would go with 30 by 36, that size.
That size,
Is
okay.
Is that the size that's at the?
That's the one that's a
Wolf
wolf swamp. Yeah.
That's a nice looking sign.
Mhm.
Yeah, I agree.
Okay, so we can definitely do that. We can mock one up with the trustees insignia on it as well.
I'll
Yeah.
email you the seal.
Okay, thank you, Jessica.
You got it.
Okay,
I
Nice
got
to see
another
you.
question
Good to
for
see
you.
you.
Great work.
I have another question.
yeah.
Oh,
Where do you guys get osprey poles?
Where do we get them? We usually build them ourselves.
No, the poles.
Oh, we usually use a cut locust tree. We actually
Yeah.
take them from our Mashonack Preserve and cut them down, because
Yeah.
the locusts will last in the marsh.
Yeah, because we want to put a couple more down there off our road.
Okay, yeah, so we usually we cut them from one of our preserves. We
Yeah,
have,
if you cut them, we can put them up
okay.
down there.
Oh, at this location, you mean?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, yeah, we could definitely do that.
You can talk to Lynn now.
Hi.
Hi,
She's ahead of our osprey program.
okay,
I'd love to have a discussion.
sure, we can do that,
Yeah.
absolutely. Okay,
thanks.
All right,
Thank you.
Great to see you.
good to see you too.
Take care.
All right. Linnea,
Yes.
you have a discussion here about a bench plaque program.
Yes, I wanted to discuss. Oh, good morning. Sorry, first of all, and I just wanted to discuss our bunch plaque program, our dedication program. So we have. Oh yeah, let me sign it.
This way we know who you are.
Yes, in case you guys forget. Okay. So, I made some printouts for you guys. And I made additional copies because I wanted everybody to have a copy. Okay. So, as you guys know, the Parks and Recreation program department also has a bench program that they were doing with Good Ground Park. So I was speaking with Teresa Malone over at Parks and Recreation, and she was actually able to help me last year with getting information on how we can go about getting plaques for benches on trustee-owned property. So I'm just gonna pass around, print out. This is their form and their protocol.
I'm gonna stamp this one in.
You want a copy of that?
Yeah.
I know we started working on this a while ago, right?
Yeah.
Yes. So basically, what I wanted to bring to the board is, I've had a lot of requests with other residents wanting to place new benches on trustee-owned land, to dedicate to a loved one, in memory of them. So I reached out to Parks and Recreation, and when they were in the process of placing new benches and creating them, they actually purchased kits, and their maintenance crew would put the benches together and then go and place them where the benches were needed. So I wanted to bring it to the board and discuss if possibly that was something you guys would be open to expanding our program to.
I think it'd be good. We just have to, on some locations where we put them, we have to make sure they're secured so they don't fall over.
Yes, for sure.
Did you discuss with Teresa the placing of benches on the ocean beaches?
I did not yet. I did not open up that side yet. I've actually only had some inquiries like around like Scallop Pond and Cold Spring area. So I haven't had anybody ask about any ocean beaches yet. So, but that's something I definitely would want to talk to her about, or to the Parks and Recreation department, because I'm sure people, if we do expand this, would be interested in possibly placing benches there.
Well, I just know at one point when I inquired, they weren't in favor of that because they get swept away in any big storm. So we, to your point, Trustee Pell, about securing them, so that's just a,
Oh, for sure. Yeah, definitely something to pay attention to and highlight, yes. But yeah, I really just wanted to bring that to your guys' attention and discuss it, because I think it would be something really exciting to do to expand it for the community, so that they could place more benches to dedicate to their loved ones and make new memories and stuff.
And we
And
can combine it with the Osprey program.
yes, so I also wanted to kind of give an update on how the Osprey program's going and some new discoveries that I found. And I wanted to also hand out another example of plaques that I found, because one thing that I've been going back and forth with in my head is how these plaques are going to, look on the poles and how the families will be able to see them accessibly from, you know, because some of these poles are being placed in, marsh area or, you know, areas that are hard to, get to, sorry, let me get that word out. So these plaques are, basically post plaques. They kind of look like a little podium plaque. I think that if you guys would be open to it, maybe this would be a form of plaque we could use for our Osprey program when people are specifically dedicating them to a loved one or in memory of somebody. They're easier to see. It's also because locust trees are very weathered. For the ones we want to be using, it'd be hard to kind of get a plaque really secured onto that.
I think you would have to screw these plaques onto the base, 'cause if you put them in the ground, I think they would disappear.
Right.
Mm.
So even if the osprey pole's out in the marsh,
Right.
you put the plaque on it, the people know it's there.
Mm-hmm. And if this would at least kind of, I guess, display it better,
Yeah.
for it'd be easier to see.
Yeah.
So that was
But
something
I would
wanted
not, I would not be in favor of putting it in the
Okay.
ground, because I would, you know, someone come along, pick it up, and, you know, as a joke, put it somewhere else.
Yeah, that's also true.
But, you know, I would, you know, screw it onto the,
Into the base of the pole.
yeah,
Mm.
even if it's out in the field or whatever, the people know who don't, you know it's there.
Mm-hmm. Okay, and then I was able to reach out to PSEG. I also was able to speak with, Valerie Vergona from the Conic Estuary Partnership, and she's the outreach coordinator. So she was able to give me some good info. They basically do not purchase any poles themselves, and they don't really erect any osprey poles anymore. They gave me some cool articles on how to build our own nests if we wanted to outsource our materials, like naturally, which is what we're trying to do. And then she also gave me some good info on how we should be mindful of where we're placing it and also the dimensions. This basically also kind of comes with a very own estimate if we were going to go from ourselves and go purchase all this by ourselves. But so that's basically where I'm at. I also reached out to Rich Franks to talk about the possibility of maybe introducing fiber glass poles into the program, because we are having a really hard time locating locust poles at the moment. And this is also on me. I unfortunately last year did not reach out to Rich and really coordinate too well with how the Osprey program was going. So he was unaware that we did have already 3 applications. So in coordinating with him, they do currently have 2 locust poles, but they are set to go in another area, he just explained to me. But he said he's going to look into the possibility of fiberglass poles and see.
Where are they set to go?
I forgot the locations, to be honest. I believe one of them
We
is
can find
Conscious
out.
Point and Red Creek Park, I want to say, but I might be mistaken.
Wouldn't it make more sense to satisfy the program requirements?
Yes.
Yeah,
Or
we
we-
do have 3 currently, and they only do have 2, so I mean, it could, we only have Mr. Ken Silverman's applications
Yeah.
at the moment, so, yeah. But that is where I'm at currently with speaking with Rich about the program. So I told him I would keep him more updated
Yeah,
as
'cause we
everything
can walk
progresses.
down the line and do the Red Creek, other ones.
Mm-hmm, yeah. And also with like further developments with how this program's going and how it hasn't been too easy to obtain the materials, I am looking to maybe change the application a little bit and probably not, and gear it towards, if we're going to choose fiberglass eventually, we have to change the application because it's only geared towards locust poles. So
Yeah.
I'd be looking to do that in the future, when we
Yeah,
discover more.
let's give this a bit more consideration.
Yeah, for
Let's
sure.
not make any decisions
No.
right now.
Yeah.
Let's give this some consideration. Let's take a look at the overall location of where these things are going
going.
and make sure that we're, being consistent with the program.
Mhm.
We have more homework to do with this.
Yes,
Yeah.
yeah.
So,
Mhm. I've reached out to all
Yeah,
local.
talk to the nature consultant.
Yes, for sure.
He's over, he's.
Yeah, I also just wanted to put it on record that I did reach out to most local tree services and landscaping companies to ask for any assistance. I have not heard back. I did also reach out to Martyrs and have not heard back, so
Okay.
I am trying my best to find us
You
some
are.
rules.
Yeah.
But yes, that is what I have for you guys.
more
All right.
homework.
Okay, more homework for sure.
Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank
no
you,
worries.
Diane.
Thanks.
Yeah.
We have another discussion here about the Little Fresh Pond Walkway.
Yes. This one, the neighbors, is the access point for us. The trustees currently own this access point right there where the arrow is. And it's used by the local neighbors, and they came to me, wanna know if we could put a couple steps and a handrail going down to the beach there. It's a small beach, it's only like, I would say roughly 30 feet, maybe, 40 feet, 40 feet. Just that, there's a couple of older people who, they have a hard time getting down there because it's kind of rough. And
Are there steps there now? I haven't been on that
No,
access.
there's,
There's
only
nothing.
steps is like where the ground, washed, and there's like a root, it's a step. So there's no, it's very difficult for someone who's like handicapped or up there in age to walk down
Because
there.
it's a slope.
How big is this parcel?
Not very
It's
big.
like 20 or 40 feet wide, maybe.
Yeah,
Just an access point,
Yes,
yeah.
solely an access point. But it is used by the community.
right?
Yeah.
So we should, if it's a good access point to get into the water, we should, you know,
And it's nice, it's a nice sandy beach there, and actually the neighborhoods actually, they clean it. They check on
So,
it, they
all
clean
right, so-
it, they police it.
can the maintenance crew builds a couple steps in?
Yeah, we got a price of lumber was
2,300.
2,300,
Ooh,
all non-treated,
wow.
with bolts and stuff,
Let's take a look at our budget and see where we're at.
yeah.
Would it make sense to do this after the winter?
They would do this, they would put on the schedule and probably do it in the springtime,
Yeah.
or when they're not so busy,
Let's take a,
late fall.
let's take a look at this. I'd like to take a look at the property too.
Okay.
Yeah, let's take a look at it, do some more homework on it.
Okay.
But I'd like to get the neighborhood down to the water. I mean,
Yeah, it'd be good, it's a good little project.
okay. We have waterfowl hunting location permit applications for determination. Don Law is here. You wanna come up, Don?
And Linnea?
Linnea, actually, give me Linnea first, let me see Linnea first.
Do you have to sign in twice?
No. All right, Linnea.
Okay. All right, so first we have Donald Law, no number. It's a proposed new location, which you all actually reviewed at the previous work session. After further discussion, it was determined that we did need Don to come into the office and amend his application to specify the location of his new proposed one. I don't know if you guys remember from our last meeting, he had a hard time locating from the map that he provided with us exactly from the description that was on the first application. Once again, I sent it, sorry, over again to the Bay Constables for their recommendation. And Rich Franks responded with, "We are going to reserve our recommendation at this time on the new location until the trustee board discusses further, since it is tabled until the next meeting, and our only recommendation would be at this time is that the other blind holders in the area should be contacted in regards to the new location and the impact it will be on their hunting locations."
Okay, that doesn't sound like a strong recommendation to me, Mark.
Not at the moment, but, you know, I suppose we could look into the locations like the constables had mentioned and go from there.
Okay. So, this,
And last meeting, you guys, asked to invite Donald here to speak with them regarding his location, the proposed spot. I believe there was in question because, for the record, Donald is also submitting a transfer application to transfer one of his current blinds. So I believe the discussion was that you guys wanted to, go over the transfer and the new location, and discuss it as a whole.
I mean, generally as a protocol, we get either a positive or a negative recommendation from the Bay Constable as, you know, from a public safety perspective and from a productivity of a program perspective. And that's not what I'm getting here from this.
Mhm.
I mean,
You know, we expressed concern, or at least I expressed concern last time. Do you want to come forward? No, you can't talk from there, but you can come up
you
here.
could go to there, or you can come over here and state your name and sign in.
Let them point it out exactly where it is up there before. So
Here.
Yeah, you can't speak
I
from,
can't speak.
yeah, you gotta be, the mic's gotta pick you up, Don.
All right, okay, here's what we're gonna do. The lower left-hand corner, go slow. Left, right, there, stop. Right there.
Where the mouse is?
That cut you see to the left of that is all mud, and at low tide it's basically open. You can see the light area, which is about 2 feet to 3 feet at high tide, and then maybe 4 or 5 feet at low tide. That hole where the village is, the V is over 15 feet deep. There's no way to walk there, out there anyway. So it's perfect for me, and I'm gonna tell you why. I'm getting older. I gave up the spot to Danny because it's very dangerous. There's no island left. I'm trying to coincide both of these together. So, as a hunting area, it's perfectly legal. On another area of, gee, I'm gonna make people upset. Every day you make people upset, but anyway. The one in Lenny Nodoff, which is to the north, I think he transferred that blind or he gave it away or whatever, it doesn't matter. They hardly ever hunt it. Now, the Cleggers off to my right, I can talk to them. You've got Junior in the corner and his father on the outside, well away from me.
All over 1,000 feet, right?
Yeah, at least.
That was listed in Rich's first, research email.
Yeah, I have a text message from him saying
Yeah.
it was perfectly all right with him. It's up to you guys now, but I can see how things change.
That's not
here.
what, okay. Is
I
that
know,
on,
I know, I'm just
is that on the
saying.
record officially?
Only on my phone.
Okay, so why is it that you get a record and the board requests a recommendation and we don't get a record? We need,
He
Mark?
says it looks good to him, he was concerned the same thing what you're going through right now.
well,
The
but we
others in
need
the
that, we
area.
need that for our record. This is our protocol,
He
so.
just gave it to you, didn't he? You just had it.
This is from the first email that he sent. Currently, there are 5 other blinds in the area ranging from approximately 855 feet to 1,115 feet, 1,200 feet, and 1,500 feet. Let me know if you need anything else. And then that's when,
So my concern was, and I expressed this at the last meeting, there's a path that's just to the east of your, the west of your proposed new site, right? Is that a village? I think it's a Quag Village path. You can see it.
It's a
No,
deer
so
path.
go-
That's a
So
deer
go-
path that goes through there.
Draw back, please, Charlotte. So see to the left of your proposed spot? So to the west, we're just to the east of the red
Oh,
line?
that little cut
Yes.
there, that's a drainage ditch.
So, no, the path, so
Over to-
Charlotte, bring your cursor just over a little bit
That's
more. Yes, right,
That road, Trustee Road that goes through there, where Rich's blind is on the end of?
no.
I don't see any paths out there. Have
I-
you been there?
I need to go back over there?
Yeah,
Okay, so-
because only paths you see are deer paths. There's no people paths, it's all mud and gunk.
Do you have a positive recommendation on this spot? What do you have?
from the Bay Constables,
Yes.
I do not. They're reserving their recommendation. I only have research that they gave us, which is about the blinds,
I just
other
want
blinds in the area.
a place like that isn't an ideal hunting spot. It's an ideal hunting spot just to go there and relax. And that's a fact. I mean, if I had all the hunters in here, they'll say the same thing. You're only gonna get birds in there in a real storm. An east wind, where they wanna go in there and try to get out of the weather. Now, of course, what happens then? Doing road floods. So I have 2 options. Go only a few days, that's all I wanna do. It's not a spot that you can hunt every day. And that's why that area is actually perfect just to go on those stormy days, and we call them dump days.
Where's your site now, the one that you wanna transfer? But you said
That's on
you
the
don't-
island right across from Oakland's.
It's
And
in
Left
each-
of
the
it, east of Warner's
access,
Island.
so the access to that is an issue.
There's no island anymore at high tide.
Mm.
But Danny can go because he's got the gear and everything else. It's dangerous. I lost a boat out there in 1979. Got sucked right out the inlet. And it was a big island then. So, I don't recommend giving that spot to anybody on the island because Danny knows how to hunt it. It's dangerous. You got no island enough so the currents meet together and it's just, so that's why I gave it up. It's one slip and it was another boat or I go. So anyway, this was perfect just to go in. If I hunted 10, 15 times, it'd be a lot. But I see other issues.
Is that the only other blind that you have? Is
No, I
that
have
the
another
only
one around
blind?
the corner at,
It's blind number 36 in
So-
West Shinnecock.
So you have another blind?
yeah.
He
Do you-
currently is a permit holder of 2 blinds, but we do have a transfer application in for blind number 86.
Is the other one huntable
Yes.
for you?
Yes.
That one's okay?
It's just a little muddy. It's
Would
a
you say that
problem.
the birds need a place to rest as well, Trustee Pell?
Yes.
Do you know they go in there all the time? Were you there? You see them?
No, I have never been there, but just,
Oh, they'll go in there,
yeah,
but that's
So I
where,
can't
that's
really
where you
say.
go.
Yeah.
Look at the other side, where Dockers is. They go there a lot more than there, because it comes in from the mainland. They have to come over the marsh, or right down the waterway. Can you back up a little? Yeah, perfect. So you see all these other spots, they're blinds, correct?
Yes.
I mean,
They're not exact locations.
No, they're
Yeah,
not at all.
they're not,
Believe me.
yeah.
They're not even, some aren't even close, but that's all right. So,
I just don't, I don't have what we normally have, and that's a positive recommendation.
no, it
To the
sounds like
board.
somebody's trying to bail it off on someone else.
Yeah.
Well, but we're an elected board.
we
I
need
know.
we need what, Rich sent you, he needs to send that to us.
That
We
looks good to
need
him.
we need
It's-
official, we need,
It looks good to him, but it's up to you guys.
well,
That's what he
We-
said.
wait, no, that's,
It's gotta go to the board.
but that's what he said where, to you, but
Yeah,
Yeah,
as a friend, as talking as a hunter.
I understand.
He even said that's a good spot. I'd like to go there.
Okay.
This is verbally now.
I
mean, you wanna
understand,
make
no,
the
no,
same
I
thing
understand,
about
but
it.
we have to dot i's and cross t's officially, especially when there's public safety, especially when there's the productivity of operating a program. It's a little concerning to me, based on knowing the dynamics of the waterfowlers in the program, if it's gonna, pardon the pun, but ruffle the feathers of the local duck blinds that are surrounding it by making a counterproductive situation. I don't, again, this is another scenario where like more homework has to be done here. And I'm a little concerned about not having an out-of-the-gate positive recommendation, as is generally protocol. I don't know what your thoughts are, but that's my,
To save some time, do you want me to get written permission from the other blinds that I could possibly go there? But I don't know if that's your problem about that. It seems like it just doesn't want me to be there, period.
well,
With public safety, I'm not sure.
well,
Talking
it's,
about a path, there's nobody on a path. Nobody should be walking through the marsh in the winter. I'm not stupid. 55 years of hunting. No accidents, no problems. Losing a boat, that's a different story.
How would, you would go in there by boat, Donnie?
No, I park by your East Quogue, not Quogue, by the sign, and walk in that way. But I would go by boat if I had to. I stay away from Quogue Village.
Maybe if we held this, I'd like to take a look at the path, because
Yeah,
that was my
I'd be more than happy
concern.
to take anybody, I'll go by boat, walk, and I'll show you everything.
we definitely have to hold this, because we don't have, based on what we're looking at here, we need a positive recommendation from every aspect of this. That's what the requirement is.
Well, I appreciate it. if you need something
Usually
more
the
from
Bay
me.
Constables say it's positive or negative. and he just left it like open for us to do, which is not, all the other ones, he always said,
Yeah.
you know.
In our
but
Blue
he-
Book regulations, there's
But he
specific-
texted you, said it was all right. He should have said that to us.
But there was a stipulation there too, as long,
Yeah.
he doesn't want the Cleggers having a fit.
Well,
I said, I'll take care of them, I'll talk to them.
but the thing is, we gotta manage a productive waterfowl program, and people have, you know, duties and responsibilities for a reason. And this is creating more issues than it does solutions, and it's problematic for any elected board.
Any issues
Where-
again are safety, people worried about,
Well,
you're not
so,
making much sense, Scott, because I understand what you're saying, but
Well, it's
It's
about
not
having a
the-
productive, in other words, if you, we have to talk to everybody else and move everybody around, you're gonna have people that are saying, well, now my hunting spot's bad because you guys put another blind over here, and now this and that, and we're gonna create issues. Generally, these are folks that, you know, are involved in the resource, it could provide the board solid guidance in a direction, is it a positive or is it a negative? So that decision-making can be made. Now, we're sitting here, you know, he's telling you, I don't have a problem with it, but we're not sure. I mean, are you sure, based on what you got from?
well, can you just show us where the other blind owner is that you just mentioned? Where is that located? Inside the lagoon or directly to the south?
the
Sorry,
red
north.
line is one. I'm sorry, yeah, right there, that's one, that's Renee.
Yeah.
And his kid is down in the elbow, we call it.
Okay,
Okay.
so those are the two then that
The
he's
other one's
referring
Carter, he
to?
doesn't hunt hardly anymore at all.
Okay,
Richie's right there in that other red spot, and then I'm on the other spot, that one right there.
Yeah, 36.
Off to the left.
Mhm.
Now, zoom
Yeah.
out. So, oh, that's Richie there, and then me, I'm right there, and you see the
That's
blind across.
Richie who?
Richie Franks. That's his blind to my right. I'm all up. And then right across Penman Cove, that point on the other side, that guy has 3 spots. And I've already talked to somebody about it. He moves that blind anywhere he wants. And you talk about screwing up somebody's hunting, he screws mine up a lot. My son will testify, and anyone else that hunts with me. He pulls that blind right there. His real spot was around the corner, and he's even going around into that cove, but now there's somebody else in there.
Which number is that you're talking about?
His name is Eric something.
No, just the number.
We've had words before, and,
Yeah.
Shar, do you mind zooming out for me? Thank you. So you're talking the green square you were referring to, right?
no,
Up in
the
No.
red that's on
Yeah.
the south end of the point, that
Oh,
one.
Those
okay.
2 red spots down in the creek are spots.
As we said, the GIS isn't quite,
Not accurate.
it's,
Well, that's one place he puts it, and then on that green spot, they put it there sometimes. I don't wanna start talking about hunting, but, and then they go around the other side, so that blind gets moved. And I tell,
Sounds like the Wild West out there, moving blinds
sometimes
over.
it is, and you know, back in the day, it was the Wild
Those-
West.
He could have the green spot, are those, duck boat
Now,
spots?
there's nobody else.
No,
hunts
so
duck.
basically
What does green
the,
mean?
I believe right now that's depicting whether or not they've been renewed or not, the color of them.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
Yes.
the red and green right now,
Don't pay attention
don't
to
pay
the red
attention to the
versus
red and
green.
green, yeah.
It's just about what's been renewed this year,
that's
Yeah.
just in.
so far.
It's internal coding.
Yes, yes. I did want to highlight again that the last response that I did get from Rich was the concern of the other blind holders and the location. And he did stress that he thinks that they should be contacted in regards to Dawn's new proposed spot.
So why don't we just have Dawn or our office contact them?
Well, let's slow down for a minute here. I gotta give it a little thought here before we get going on this. I'm giving this a bunch of thought before we,
I'm gonna go look at it.
yeah, I think that's number one.
Would you mind if I went with you and showed you and explained?
I think that's number one, Don. It
Okay.
has to be,
First of all, and the houses there, they are not winter houses. Those people aren't there. First of all, I wouldn't want to hunt there in the first place. And you know what happens down Dune Road at any time. There's joggers, there's bikes, you can't even drive down there. It's a zoo. And we know why, they're all here now, and that's it. So, obviously, I'm not gonna be sitting there in a duck blind with people jogging, the dogs going back and forth. It's hideous. It's you know, there's your safety. It's not gonna happen. that's one of the reasons why, I'm sorry, guys, I ran for trustee. Is the duck hunting is number one. So you wouldn't have this issue. At least I could help out, to understand it more.
Well,
Because again, I've been here hunting for, this will be my 55th year. And I've been in all these spots before the blind permits,
But
all of them.
I appreciate that, but so does our constables. They have, you know, some of
Yeah, I
them
agree.
are avid, very, you know, well-schooled duck hunters.
Sure,
Which
Teddy
is why,
Sauer. I mean, we're friends.
Well,
We've had
he's-
our odds
but
too.
he's-
We all have. Billy Bennett, all of us. We all had our odds.
which is why the board relies on positive or negative recommendations on these things, and, which, look, let's do this. We gotta have to go take a look.
And reflect on this.
Well,
We have to go take a look, and we have to do some homework.
I already gave up my other spot. I'm still gonna do it. I'm not gonna take it back, because that's what I was told. You gotta give up the one blind, can't have three, which I was fine with, not a problem at all. While I'm here, do I have to be with the transfer of that blind to Dan?
No.
Since I'm
No,
here?
you don't have to be here,
Okay.
no, we weren't sure what the specific coordinates were, there was a lot of questions, but you've answered a lot of the
And
questions.
application's all good that you did in the office with
Okay,
me.
good.
Yeah.
So if whatever I can do and help out, please let me know.
Okay.
We will, let us
All right?
take a look at it.
Okay.
Thank you,
Thank
thanks for
you.
coming
Thank
on.
So
you.
we're holding this one and we're advancing the transfer, is that what I'm
yes.
understanding?
Yes.
Because Ed's not here, so.
That's what he was requesting.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
All right.
All right, sorry.
Now, why don't you come sign in? Why don't you let him sign in?
Oh, yeah, for sure.
He got so excited to see the board of trustees.
I know, I
Sign in.
know, I follow protocol.
It's okay. Yeah,
Thank you. You got Hunter Tracy.
Yes, so next we have, for Mr. Bill Paul, we have Hunter Tracy, permit number 241. He'd like to transfer his blind to Michael Marone. And the trustee board decided to hold this at the last meeting, because the language that we received from Rich, actually, Mark, you pointed it out that, for transfers, they're supposed to actually say the word approved, right? So I got that language from Rich, and he just responded, approved, thanks. So, we did get the approval that we needed for Hunter Tracy to transfer his blind over to Michael Marone.
Okay.
So, if you guys would like to advance that or hold it,
I'm fine with it.
fine with it, okay.
Thank you.
Yeah, of course. Okay, and next, for Bill Pell, we have Bart Johnson. He is approved off of the wait list. He'd like to take spot number 227. And, he does not have any other blinds, but he will be coming off the wait list if he is approved to, take this spot.
Who is that spot? 27?
For sure, it's located off of, so sorry, one second. It's in West Neck
Charlotte.
Creek.
You just, that up?
Yeah.
So
227.
Charlotte, at the bottom where that little car is and the boat and the person, hit search by license permit name on the left, down, down, there. Duck line number, and then type in,
Yeah,
and
but
then
click
click
the
the X.
number.
Click that X in the top, that red X all the way over on the other side of the screen. There you go.
No, yeah. You have to actually press the number,
Oh,
line
so-
number.
Yeah.
227.
You see it right there underneath waterfowl hunting.
227,
location
your mouse is like right next to it.
There
There,
you go,
click
yeah.
that, then click the red X. Perfect.
There you go.
Thanks.
Yeah, so it's located in West Neck Creek. And I
Which one
did
is
receive,
227? That one? Okay,
yes,
thank you.
sorry. And I did receive his current, valid hunting license, duck stamp, and his proof of residency.
And the one, the duck blind he's taken over, is gonna be removed, or is he taking that duck blind?
That I am not sure of. Was not aware that it was still in the water.
They're supposed to take it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
We can
So,
let 'em know.
the previous permit holder was, Dr. Muharmovic, I believe, so he did not take his blind.
I don't know, they're supposed to remove it.
Okay.
The previous permitted person is supposed to remove the
We just
blind.
wanna make sure
Sure,
that it's removed,
okay.
or the new or sometimes the guy makes a deal with it, and takes it over.
Okay.
And only access there is by water.
Yes.
Yes.
Actually, it's up against the bank
Mm-hmm.
on this.
On the west side.
Yeah.
It's, yeah,
It's on the Cowneck side.
yeah.
So would you like me to reach out to the previous blind holder
You
and
make sure
see?
it's removed.
Okay.
If it's removed, I'm fine with it.
Okay.
So just scroll back just a little bit further, Charlotte. This is not a new hunter, right?
No. This is an already existing spot.
No, the hunter.
He's been on the wait list for 8 years now. I don't know if he's been hunting in his personal life during that time or not.
Okay. Just because there's love lines in there, and I know that sometimes there's been discussion about it's tight. I know it was more in the cove. Is that of any concern?
I don't know. I was not made aware of anything like that, so I'm not too sure. Or do you guys have any concern about it being?
I know that this area at one point was, to your point, Scott, about the former site, that the birds need a place to rest, but I don't know where that stands with this location at this point.
We think that?
They rest up in that, see that,
All the way to the north?
yeah, all the way to the north and over by the way the blue one, they rest in there. Mainly when they go up in there. And then they go way up, and they rest way up along that one bank. Like those two at the blinds, when the birds come in from the bay, that's when they get them.
At the end of each season, Linnea does coordinate with the Bay Constables and let them know all of the spots that are going to be offered to the wait list and asks them to review them and make sure that they're all good. So she did do that.
I did, yes.
And
sorry.
did you receive any?
I did. I believe the only duck blind
Feedback?
permit holder that left their blind in was Mark Parrish, but that has since been removed. So
And you didn't receive any
I
other
didn't
comments
anything
about
about
any
227.
issues?
No.
Okay.
Mm-mm.
I just wanted to
Okay,
make
Yeah,
that
so
note.
thank you about
You
that.
got it.
Sorry,
So that's good.
forgot
Thanks,
about
Jess.
that email.
That's good.
Yeah. Sorry, it's been a year since the last season, so
Yeah, I'm fine as long as the other one's been removed.
yeah, I'll definitely quadruple check with Rich and everything. So would you like to approve it?
Yeah, as long as the other one's been removed.
Yes,
Sounds like it.
there was no record of it still being there.
So I think when I last night drove down and looked at it that way, I think it was still sitting there.
Okay,
Linnea will check.
for sure.
Yeah.
So we're
Okay.
gonna advance that pending that being removed. Okay.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay, and we've already gone over Donald Law's permit transfer, so now we're gonna move on to Eric Hagan in Miss Ann Welker's area. There's no number, it's a new proposed location. It is located off of Brickhill Road in Sag Harbor area. It's Mulvihill Pond, I apologize if I mispronounced that. You can see that the power lines come through. It's the first pond, right where the cursor was, yes. And this is the response that I got back from Rich. Good afternoon. We have reviewed the attached proposal, and it has been determined that at this time there is no public access to this pond. So unless the applicant can submit proof that he has had permission granted to him to park in the area to access this location, it would be denied at this point until additional information is received. Approving a location where additional permission is needed from a property owner, not the town, could propose a problem if the spot is ever lost or revoked. and offered to the wait list. The same permission would have to be offered to them as well for access, which would not be covered under the trustee board or the permit. It would be on a case-by-case basis whether the property owner wants to grant the same access.
Okay, so that's a hold for now then?
Or no.
Unless,
It's either a
It's a
hold
denial.
or a denial.
It's a denial.
It would be a lot opening up. I spoke verbally over the phone with Rich to kind of clarify that portion that he explained, because like he mentioned, if the spot does get revoked or given back to the wait list, then whoever does come on board next would then have to approach those property owners and homeowners and ask for permission
right,
to.
but did we speak with the prospective new blind location owner to determine
recommendation-
if they have access?
Well, the
No, there was
recommendation
nothing
was-
supplied with the application. I did not reach out afterwards because protocol-wise, I have to come to the board first. But that is something I can look into for sure.
Trustee Walker, years ago, someone also tried to put a blind in there, and it was the
Same thing.
same thing.
Trustee Parish?
It should be denied.
I think before we deny though, don't we just owe the blind owner that consideration to see if he does have access?
The trouble is with that, if he gives
It
it
doesn't
up,
carry with it.
Yeah.
doesn't carry with it, then
It's not a good spot.
it's not a good
It's
spot.
a denial.
And
my
plus, you
Okay.
always need a place for birds to go and rest,
Okay,
Yeah, you gotta consider the total management of the whole resource,
yeah.
okay.
and I think it's good consideration.
Some places you think would be good, but it's not good.
Okay,
So
so he, yep,
deny it.
with explanation.
Okay, yes. Okay, and next, we also held this one at, the previous work session because it coincided along with, Hunter Tracy's transfer to Michael Marone. So Dwayne Arnister would like to add Hunter Tracy, as a co-permittee to his blind number 12. And, Hunter Tracy is obviously still registered on blind 17 and 241, but 241 is going to be transferred to Michael Marone, which was approved just previously today.
Trustee Parish?
So once it's approved, then Hunter Tracy should be able to come in as additional co-permittee.
Yes, because he would be giving up one of his second blind
would.
spot.
Right, so we would only have two.
Yes.
Okay, that's good with me.
Okay, you'd like to approve it?
Yes.
Okay.
Thank you, Linnea.
Yes, no, thank you
Thank
guys,
you.
I appreciate it.
Thanks, Anaya.
Yeah, of course.
Thanks for your help today.
Thank you guys. Can I take my folders downstairs?
Let's move to the general permit applications for determinations. Got Nancy McCabe, 33 Mineola Court, Hampton Bays. This is a Dynamic Legal. Is somebody here representing Dynamic Legal? I don't see Kevin.
Take care, Joe.
They want to construct a 25-foot catwalk with stairs and 2x4 railings and light penetrating decking. They're indicating all materials to be untreated. That is the total description of the project. There it is.
Can you blow it up just a little? Hey, Charles, do you
Yeah.
think maybe we could turn on the, both, thank you,
Take a pictures, please.
both screens?
Pictures.
He said he was having issues with the batteries for this
Oh,
one.
okay.
I texted him
Never
earlier.
mind, Charles, thanks.
Sorry.
All right, so, sorry, so it's a, elevated walkway off the existing bulkhead.
Yes,
So the adjoining property has a similar structure?
yes.
How long is it?
The one they're requesting is 25.
25?
25 feet is what he's got on here.
Okay.
Here. I don't see, I mean, this area, I see it.
So it stairs down into the water?
Yep.
So the adjoining property has a floating dock. We don't usually do stairs down into the water, especially given that. Where's, can we see the survey? Where's mean high water?
Yeah.
And James sent some notes around to the board.
Yeah, that's what I'm
wanted to
just
make-
looking for.
Yeah, I just wanted to make you guys aware.
You have a copy of his
Give-
notes?
give us
I
the
do, I do. Would you like me to read them?
Read the notes, yeah, read the
Okay,
notes.
his notes, we're on 33 Mineola
Yeah.
Court,
Yes.
right?
Yep.
So
Thanks,
he
Jess.
says, needs to provide location of proposed dock on survey to make sure it's within the extended property lines.
Right.
And then he also says scaled hand-drawn plans, if accepted by the board, needs to be stamped.
Right. So we're not ready to move on this one, we need stuff.
Okay.
All right, so this is gonna go on hold pending what we need.
My question would also be, given that this walkway ends in stairs, that's not usually what we do. It stairs into the water on his plans,
Yeah, no, I see that.
so.
Yep.
Because it stairs would have to be removable for the ice.
Now, he's got it solid on 6x6s, so indicate that as a note, and this one's gonna have to be on hold. Come back for another work session when he's ready. Okay? Trustee Powell,
I have 61 Inlet Road, DKR Shores. Come on up.
Do you have James' notes, Bill?
No.
Or do you want me to, whenever you're ready, just let me know.
Yeah. Let her start.
Sure.
Give you the notes.
This is Inlet Road East.
Yes.
Gina Rigdon, DKR Shores, here to represent Chilean Bed Shelter. So this dock has gone through a number of revisions. At first, it was over on the west side of the property. And then the DEC asked me to move it and relocate it in the area where the path currently is, so in an area that's already disturbed. Then the second version, I had it going straight out in that particular area, and the DEC approved it. The board asked me because there wasn't appreciated depth, and the catwalk was ending at minus 1.4 to bring it back 20 feet, and I said, okay, let me try to play with this a little more, and instead of putting it straight out, angle it so the landward part goes completely over the path, and then it goes straight out into deeper water where it's adjacent to a kind of deep water canal area. I'm not gonna say canal
I
area,
want to
but like a-
interrupt you, but you're saying a good story, but you still have not come to any deeper water. I still think that it should be.
It's still at
I think
1.4,
it
yeah.
actually have to be brought back, and that's it. I don't think that area does it need a dock that long? I think it has to be,
I
you hit
get
the
that,
water.
so I did some
That's it.
measurements this morning, and
Yeah.
so the way I have it right now, and I understand it goes 1.4, 1.4, 1.4. If I brought it back to the first 1.4, then I have to shorten it by 9 feet.
Yeah, I was thinking more of like the 1.2 to 1.3.
Yeah,
Because she just,
I mean-
basically, she just wants to,
it is 2
she wants a
inches.
dock. It's
Yeah.
not for, the dock is for access for the water,
Right,
okay? She wants a platform to sit there and have, watch the sunset.
yes.
And so that's what
but-
she told me when I was there. And it's not in our blue book.
Yes
Let's-
and-
let's-
yes and
You can
yeah.
find, you
Yes
find in
and
the blue book
yes.
that it says, I need a platform to watch the
I
sunset.
Michelle,
get
can you
that.
zoom on it?
I get that, but my only hesitation is her son is a boater. Her son
Yeah.
uses the house.
You can't get a boat in there.
I
Well, look,
know,
you
but
even lose depth. Look, you go back down to
Yeah,
1-1.
if
You
you're gonna-
actually lose
If
depth.
you're
You
gonna
see
use a
that?
stand-up board,
Yeah,
You lose depth. I
you
mean,
lose depth.
it just doesn't make common sense. You know, I mean, I get what you're saying. I'm listening to this back and forth, but just from a common sense perspective, it doesn't make any sense.
No.
You know,
I mean, there's a handful of clams up there, because I have clammed up in that area.
I mean-
And that's besides the point, but
It-
it's not, you're not gaining anything.
There's a fairly long recommendation, I can forward it to you guys from James about this.
I have it right here.
yeah, could
Okay.
you email it to me?
Oh, I meant these guys.
Oh.
Oh, sorry. I mean, It's basically dial it back.
Yeah, I mean, it's just, just from a common sense perspective, without a fairly long anything, just looking at it.
Mhm.
I think you need to go back and have another conversation with your client about the results of this, and to
Yeah.
see if there's something that, I would love to work with you,
Okay.
it just,
Yeah, I mean, it's,
It's just-
if there was more water, if you had 2 feet or 3 feet just past that dock, then I could say fine, but if,
Right, right,
I mean, if he's a boater, he would bring it back, we give him a mooring, and put his boat out there.
okay.
And even a mooring would have to be way out there.
I mean, I personally want it over more to the right because the water is deeper over there, and then it would be shorter.
Can you-
See
yeah.
see where it reaches 1.7, 1.5, 1.8, like
Yeah.
right there.
yeah,
I want it there.
well, so
And
what's,
so if she's okay with that, I'm
Well,
gonna put it there.
like I said, you need to go back and you need
And
to
then
have,
it will be 20,
okay,
15 or
That's
so
something else,
feet
yeah.
shorter.
Right.
That to me makes sense.
okay.
Yeah,
Why,
that's
why
fine.
is there a dog leg in it? Why, instead of
Just
going
because
straight
it follows
across?
the path, which goes like that,
So-
and then go out to the water.
So
just-
there's a path there now.
Yeah,
There's
but,
a path there
yeah,
now.
but it doesn't,
that's
yeah,
fine.
So that part's gonna stay.
yeah,
The part where the path is, where it gets out to like low water, like that part I
It-
really
it-
can't change.
it
'cause
doesn't
it's
have to
the
follow the
east.
path.
It's also the curve of the,
It's a
It's
weird
also you can
property
see.
shape, yeah,
it's the view.
it just doesn't work on the hydro.
yeah, okay. Well, I'll tell her if she wants a dock, then she either has to pull it back to 1.2, 1.3, or move it over to the right more, which
And-
is
I mean,
to
if
the
this- if
east,
they're-
where there's deep water.
Look, yeah, can you zoom out again, Charlotte?
On this one?
See, but
or on
it-
the
yeah,
Yeah.
see,
aerial?
but I don't
No,
wanna
no,
get-
hydros, I wanna see if it gets any deeper and where, I don't know how far you go.
And then I
You have to
have to
go
put the
way out.
10-foot offset
Yeah, you're not going
on.
far enough.
No, can you do an
You know what I
overhead
mean?
shot?
Well, yeah, you
So-
can't, you can't mess with the
Neighborhood.
extended property lines.
Right.
You gotta
So if I
stay
put
clear of
this-
that. But I think there's a plan here, but you need to go back and have a conversation with your client.
Okay,
We're probably gonna need an advisory letter too, given, the change in the angle of that.
See,
Well,
that's
no,
it.
we're not gonna
But,
change the
uh,
angle of anything in the upland, just on our property.
yeah,
Yeah.
just on the,
Yeah, we're not gonna
nothing in
change
the
anything
upland
upland.
is changing.
No, it's just
Um,
instead of it going that way, it'll just go that
See,
way.
she wanted, the reason she wanted the angle to get past that point, so she gets the view that way.
Yeah,
If she
no.
goes
Right.
out, if she goes to see this deeper water to the south or to the southeast,
Yeah, to southeast.
like where the C and the K is over
You
that.
see where they launch right there on
Yeah.
the adjacent, like, road,
Yeah,
dirt road? There's deep water in that area because people
Yeah.
launch in their boats and taking their boats in that way. I want the dock, obviously makes sense, to access that channel that they're,
Get closer to.
using right now. But I have to put the 10-foot offset on to make sure that I'm,
you
legal.
can't, yeah, you
And
can't.
then basically stop it before the 10-foot offset in the deepest water possible, and that's what makes sense, so. She wants it
She wants a
located to the
viewing
west,
platform.
because that's where the view is.
Yeah, no.
So I have revisioned these plans so
You
many
need to go back and have a
times.
conversation, 'cause that's not
Yeah.
approvable.
Okay, no problem.
Sorry to send you back again.
No, it's okay,
That's what,
thank you.
that's what
You
happens.
enjoy coming to
I'm
us.
trying to make everybody happy.
You're doing a good job. You make that horse happy?
I know, I have to pay my horse fees, so. Thanks,
That's all you have today?
that's it.
Okay.
Come on up. I'm gonna do,
19 West Neck Circle.
yep, 19 work. What's the next circle?
Good morning.
Good morning.
Just wanna let you, everyone know that he is my neighbor. We live around the corner from each other. He has a dock with the original permit is a catwalk, and over the years, they added a float to it, so he has to get a permit for the float. But on your float, the floats, we're only allowed to have 6 by 20. And so you have to make your float small to fit in there.
So, the first float, there's a second one that went in this year. The
Yeah.
first float went in sometime around 1990. We don't
Yeah.
exactly know when,
But there's no permit for that, that's the problem.
and so we can't get a grandfather.
No.
Not if there was an original permit.
Yeah. The only permit you have is
It's a small little catwalk.
it's more catwalk,
From
which is no
1970.
problem. You can have a float there, but this has to be 6 by 20.
Okay.
And then you have to just show us the hydrographic on,
The depth,
Yes.
the depth where the float is sitting.
as part of the application?
Yes.
Yeah,
Okay, so the application needs to be updated,
Yes.
yeah.
okay.
Yeah, I think you have a ladder, you have to put a ladder on it
There is a ladder on it.
and have the 6x20 float and just show us the depth of the water where the float is sitting.
At the far end, at the
The
Inside
closest,
edge.
the inside closest to land.
yeah, we wanna make sure it's sitting at 30 inches of water, which
It's
you
not.
have. Then you have a problem, because the float has to sit at 30 inches of water.
30 inches of water,
How much is
I'm
there?
low
well,
tide.
at low tide, so I measured the depth at low tide. I can give you the date and time.
Yeah.
It was 32 inches at the far end. Now, it
Yeah.
does slope down.
Yeah, you have to do the closest end where, that way, because we don't want the float to sit on the bottom.
Well, it doesn't touch the bottom at this point, but I guess it could if the water goes out deep enough.
Well,
Yeah,
that's-
but just do the average, you know, that's why you need a surveyor to come down and do it.
Well, the surveyor said not to do the depth. I asked him to, and he said, let's try it without.
Yeah, we need a depth.
Okay, so do we need to extend the dock?
We might have to extend it then.
Sounds like you're close though, no, you
Yeah,
said?
you're pretty
It's
close.
32 inches at 20 feet out.
Okay.
But
It's
if
a-
you do a bathymetry study, then we'll know.
We'll know exactly where
That-
it
that-
is.
we could cite it, yeah, we could, then we
Yeah.
could cite it,
Yeah.
so it fits, you know.
You can, might move it a couple inches here and might move it out.
Okay.
It's not all the time.
And the 6x20 is a.
That's it.
That's our
It's
regulations.
hard law.
That's the standard.
It's articulated. Is that okay?
Yeah, that's fine.
Because we can't take out a 6x20. It breaks out to
Yeah.
two 6x.
That's okay,
Yeah,
as long as
fine.
the total unit doesn't extend
Yeah.
greater than the
6x20.
allowable.
Okay. And is there any
Dimension.
regulation on the number of posts that hold it? And we have two now, one at each end.
That's fine.
That's okay?
Yeah,
Yeah.
just indicate it all on your plan.
Okay.
Yeah. All non-treated,
All not treated, yeah.
not painted.
I mean, it's hardwood posts,
Yeah.
or hardwood, whatever it's called,
Yeah.
Green Heart?
green heart. And then
Yeah.
the structure itself on the floats in the dock
Yeah,
are
then
all.
you, then once we approve it, what your design and the water depth, then you just have to have it stamped.
Okay. So I need to get an updated survey with depth.
Yeah.
Do you have a survey?
Yes, there was a survey just
Could
done.
we-
There's an inset there of the existing dock on the lower left.
So it's fine as far as, amount of distance of.
Can you
off
zoom
the
in on that,
property line?
on the, that's it. Please.
And it's fine as far as off the property line.
Go up a little bit.
Yeah, it's in the middle.
It is?
Not, maybe it's not.
No, it looks
No.
like it's no, go the other way, go up.
Yeah, you might have to move it, because it's supposed to be
So
10 feet.
what's the dimension?
I think it's far enough.
It looks-
That
looks
should
like
be-
it's over.
We should scale that.
We should scale it, or you should provide a dimension.
It's misleading, where it's grayed out is natural vegetation that we put in on our property.
What's the
line.
distance
Right,
from the
but-
dock to your
Yeah,
property line?
it's far enough,
20
because,
feet?
20 feet?
yeah.
At the
'cause-
floating dock?
At the floating dock?
So, yes,
Extended
because
property
it's,
line.
the property lines
Yeah.
extend into
Okay.
the water, that's what we're looking at, is not on land, but in the water, so we're looking at,
It's probably,
Isn't your, with a black dot, the corner of your property?
yes.
Right there.
So you're gonna do the bathymetric studies, and I think what you're gonna have to do when it gets cited on the survey, we're gonna have to have a dotted line of the extended property line showing,
The distance.
yeah, we need to see that
Yeah.
distance,
What's the distance need to be?
greater than 10.
Maybe 10 feet.
10 feet off the
But that-
property line.
but
off
I
the
don't think that would be a
extended
problem.
property
Yeah,
line.
because that.
Right, but
Yeah,
this
just-
way, when
just
you're,
so that we know.
when you're having, that way, because it is close, you know, and when you're looking at it like this, when you're coming in with that paperwork, it's clear.
Okay.
Yeah, well,
Okay.
the one black line, what goes around by the float, that's not the property line. The property line is right down there, we're showing,
Right,
right there, so that's more than 10 feet.
But not the point being that once it's extended out, that
Yeah.
25,
that's what
30
we're
feet, whatever.
concerned about.
Right.
It's probably
Yeah.
fine, but just.
It's close,
because-
it's
yeah.
where you just, so that way,
Yeah.
when he does it, you're having him work on it.
Yeah.
This way, it's clear, you're showing that you're meeting the guidelines,
Right.
right?
But
And
if
you-
that,
and the dock builder who built it for you, he knows the law, he should have told
He
you that.
I don't think he does. I think that.
I agree with him.
He's a great guy, he's our contractor.
Yeah.
I think you know him. But
Yeah.
he owns a marina but he's not a marine contractor, so he knows he knows marina law, not residential, I think.
Well, no, it's the same.
Is it?
He knows.
I still agree with you.
Yeah.
All right.
Because he has done it before and the people got in trouble.
Did they? Okay.
Okay, so we have
All
more
right.
work to do.
More work.
Here, then.
Not bad.
Thank you.
But more work.
Not bad for you.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
Well,
you-
no, I mean, it's not that bad, you know, what you
No,
have to
this
do.
is easy for him.
All right.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Enjoy the day.
All right.
Take care. Okay. Brian Mims, 56 Noyak Harbor Road in Noyak, and the permit guy is the consultant on this
Yeah,
project.
yeah,
Good
I
morning.
figured that out.
How are you?
I'm well, how are you?
We're fine, thank you. Okay, so we've previously looked at this. It's 56 Noyak Harbor Road. There is a dock presently on the property that is to be replaced with a 32-foot fixed pier, through-flow decking, and a 14-foot through-flow ramp, and a 20-foot through-flow floating dock as per plans, all materials to be untreated. We were provided with the hydrographic survey, so maybe if we could draw that up. What we do need, though, on the hydrographic survey is the location of the proposed dock, as well as what the depth of water is on the inside edge of the float.
To address
So-
that point, you had sent us an email in July to that point. We have been diligently trying to track down our surveyor who is AWOL. He is not
Oh.
answering emails, phone calls, or a knock on his door. My understanding is that he has a health issue. It's Ralph Heil, I don't know if anybody deals with Ralph, and if you know where he is, I think I know what's going on, but I'd rather not say because I'm not 100% sure, but he's dealing with a health issue, so he hasn't gotten back to us. I advised the homeowner that at this point, since we're going on now a month and a half, he might have to just bring somebody else in. He's already paid for it, he's upset about it, but these things happen. So and my deepest apologies on this, but we haven't done anything since you sent me the email on July 27th in terms of moving this forward. I am trying to find him, but I think we're gonna have to bring somebody else in. I
Okay.
just, not feeling good about this.
Okay, so the
Sounds like
only other thing would be however this moves forward, is just that we also need the location of, or the distance of the proposed dock from mean high water to the end of the dock. Because, so that, to make sure that it conforms with the a third across to the other side of the
Got it.
cove.
We can do that.
And can you also have a new cover sheet that's signed? Because this one's not signed.
Not signed? We'll get your, oh, is the amended is not signed?
No.
Okay, that I can take care of. Okay, I can do all that.
Great. So we'll hold this then?
pending
Pending
me
receipt.
getting you whatever we need. I'll get it as soon as we can and
Okay.
get it redone.
Thank you
Thank
for
you.
the
I
explanation.
apologize for the delay, but we
It's
will
okay.
get it done.
We
It happens.
understand.
We
Thank
understand.
you.
Thank you. Ruben.
Have a great
Thank
day.
you.
Thank you.
Trustee Barish?
Yes, we have Roger Ross at 104 Point Road, Village of West Hampton Beach, First Coastal.
There he is.
Last but not least.
And right on time today.
How's everybody doing?
Good, how are you?
Good.
And,
Billy Mack, First Coastal.
I inspected that one last dock, so
Thank you very much, and thank you guys for doing, I know you don't have your inspector, and you guys are rolling up your sleeves and doing that. I
Yes.
appreciate it.
we're
It
working
goes a long
nights.
way. We are,
We'll
and it's
get
a good
down on the
process.
list.
You got more to go?
Yeah.
Little busy.
Okay, this, Trustee Parrish and I met at this property.
Along with James.
James
Do
was
an
there.
overhead shot. Thank you, Colin.
This is a bulkhead in Pond Point that's desperately in need of replacement. And I think we met to kind of just get a view of it and hammer out the details on the height.
This is the second bulkhead there,
Yeah,
so they have to be removed and go,
Back to the original line.
exactly,
Yeah.
take everything out.
and both neighbors got returns. Looks
Yeah,
like.
Yes.
Changing a return from a 2-foot to a 10-foot return on the,
Exactly right.
what side is that, the east side?
That's the east side.
So the proposed increase in elevation was reduced from an ask of 18 inches to 12
To
inches.
12 inches.
So the neighbor to the west,
It matches, I think, the neighbor to the west, right?
it looks like the neighbor to the west
Yeah, it
is
matches the neighbor to the west.
Charlotte, there was a close-up of the height of the bulkhead, yes.
Yep.
So this is going to be above, once it goes up?
Not much.
Should be
Not by
almost
much.
matching it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's
it should be a
close to
little bit.
matching it, and then the neighbor on the east side
Is lower.
is lower, but he is okay. He was there at the meeting.
Yeah, he actually prefers the higher height.
Yeah,
As an adjacent property owner?
Yeah,
Yep.
because he knows that he should have built his higher, and he says eventually, I'm gonna have to build mine higher,
Okay.
which is
And,
very common, unfortunately.
yeah, so,
and the property owner, again, just going back to the other side, to the west,
Mhm.
so that's one railroad tie, that's 6 inches, right?
About 6 inches.
So this is gonna go up 6 inches above
that.
him.
Mhm.
Looks like that's gonna be in the near future, not, maybe another 5 to 10 years, because that's a wooden bulkhead.
Yeah, that's right.
So that's gonna be in for the replacement.
What's the fetch here?
Huge. This is
Yeah, it's
Open
right
Bay,
over.
Quantuck Bay. No, not Quantuck, Merchants.
And this bulkhead gets overtopped.
It does, I don't know if you have any photos of the ground near there that show just the displacement of the soils. So a lot of the tie rods are exposed because the washout of the soil from the, being overtopped repeatedly.
And what's going in along the edge of it? Is it buffer?
Yes.
Is there a walkway and then a buffer?
There's an existing deck that goes adjacent to, I think it shows on.
Chuck, could we see the plans?
You have a non-disturbance buffer of clean sand in the center right.
Yeah, so, exactly right. So we want sand in front of just the patio for functional space, and the rest of it's all vegetated.
The beach grass, because I see there's some beach grass already in the picture.
Yeah.
American beach grass is.
Yeah, beach grass
called
is
for.
actually.
And also in the photographs, it looks like the original bulkhead, the new bulkhead, what you're replacing now is higher than the original one.
So it's already been raised?
Look at it, because look at the,
Yeah, that's a
can you
good
go back
question.
to the, Charlie, go back to,
That's what,
Oh, I see what you're saying, yeah,
Yeah.
the
exactly
tie
right.
rods are above
The
that one,
old
so
bulkhead.
that's,
Yeah,
so
that's,
that was raised
that's
once,
exactly
which,
right.
What-
that proves that it had to be raised.
Yeah,
so.
that's a
the re-
creosote original one.
Yeah, so we want to get that out of there.
Mm-hmm.
And we're gonna replace on the, I'm sorry, I wasn't clear on that. We're replacing on the site of the current bulkhead, but removing the old bulkhead.
Yes.
yeah,
Is that right?
you
So
have to go,
we're,
you have to go back to the, you're supposed to go back to the original line.
Yeah, we're
You're supposed
taking
to.
everything out.
It probably could,
so so it goes back then to,
It's, I think the Blue Book does have a regulation,
yeah.
I mean, Mark, can you read that
And
regulation?
it makes sense to
Draw it
put it
back.
in line with the other two.
It does, it should be
Yeah, I
in
mean, it's
line.
such a short distance.
Yeah, it should be in line, otherwise it's
Yeah.
gonna make a
But you
mess,
wanna
but you
take-
gotta take everything out.
Yeah, but you have to take
We'll
both
take
bulkheads
everything out and then
Yeah.
line up,
So
because.
it's clean.
so keep
The
it
joints line
in
up.
line with the current bulkhead.
Yeah.
But remove the old bulkhead, which is in fact landward
Yeah, I think
by a foot or so,
the landward one,
the fit from the 50s probably.
yeah, but it looks like it kind of collapsed in.
Yeah.
So, I don't know if that's a true representation of where it used to be, but the existing one that's there is tied directly to the edges of the adjacent
Yeah,
properties.
it looks
So,
in line.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we would just do that.
Stay in line.
Stay in line.
You got any Navy style like that too?
Yeah.
So you're keeping that existing patio?
Are you bringing the fill in?
Deck,
or
yeah,
you-
I think it's, oh, it is a patio. I
It's
think.
like a slate patio,
Yeah.
it looks
Are
like.
you dredging or bringing fill in?
We would like to dredge a little, I'm not sure if we need to.
Is it on your application?
That's a good question. I don't think.
I didn't see any dredging on the application.
Probably gonna need some reclamation dredging.
Yeah.
I think it's deep enough there, so I don't think,
So you're
we'd
gonna
have to
bring
bring
sand in.
sand, that's fine. It's not a lot of sand.
So,
Actually, you want to reclaim 10 cubic yards of bay bottom material
Okay, that makes sense.
within the 10 foot of bulkhead.
Right, reclaim 10 up. Okay, that's correct, that's exactly right. Doesn't need a lot of sand, so 10 cubic yards would make sense.
The access to this property floods, right? Harbor Road flood,
Point Road? Yes. Down to, spring high tides.
just spring high tides?
That spot, yeah, I mean, oddly,
just zoom in on that, please. You know, go back to, go zoom in on that. I'm just looking at this.
yeah,
The plan?
Yeah. Yeah, so that's where you're showing the borrow spot, right there, reclaimed
Yeah.
bay bottom material. They're not using the word dredging.
They're just using reclaim,
yeah.
What's the difference?
I don't know.
Well, reclaim would, in theory, be the soil that's left the upland and deposit itself. You know, it's dredging.
I should just plainly say dredging.
Yeah. Well, I think that's a term that the DEC
Oh,
uses.
sorry.
Even if it's reclamation dredging?
Yeah, their view is that you're allowed to, within 10 feet, reclaim any lost soils.
Well, we call it reclamation dredging,
Yeah.
because
Well,
you're removing the
I'll
Call it
bulkhead.
anything you guys
So,
want.
but that's on ours, it should say, to your point, dredging.
Yeah. Right, yeah. I mean, I think it all means the same thing.
Got the non-disturbance buffer in there.
Yeah, it's all
You got a nice,
I think the only thing we need is a stamped
We need
plan.
stamp plans, yeah.
all right, so, you're good?
You're good?
You need stamp plans.
Okay.
You know
will
that.
provide them.
You knew
good with
that.
Ann?
I did know that.
What's that?
You good with this?
All right,
Okay, I will let you guys.
That's all you
get
have, right?
Back to your work.
that's it, you're good.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Mr.
Thank you
Mack.
guys very much.
Thanks, Billy.
Apologies for having you wait.
Not at
Well,
all.
it's, you know,
No, I
that's the
like
way it
it.
is here. He knows that, he likes to hang out with us.
Catch up on my TikTok or something.
You know,
I don't
Goodbye,
have.
Billy.
entertainment here.
But you made
Okay
one.
if you do.
Bye, Billy.
So now you have some general permit applications for determination, final plans.
This is B&S Courtyard LLC, 14 Batilli Silly Avenue in Sag Harbor. We have stamped plans, so I'd like to advance this.
Okay. And you have 180 Point Mecox LLC.
180 Point Mecox LLC. We also are in receipt of, sorry, Charles, we also are in receipt of stamp plans. So I'd like to also advance this.
Okay.
So if 180 could, 180 Point Meadcox could also advance.
Okay. Trustee Parrish.
79 the Montauk Highway, West Hampton, of Tom Conti. We have a stamped plan, so that's approved, should be approved.
Okay. All right. We're good? In advance?
Yes.
That concludes the general permit applications for determinations for the final stamp plans. Is there any, before we go to executive session, is there any other discussions that the trustees need to have? Me, Cox, what do we need to discuss, anything?
I can give an update now or later, or
If
both.
you, well, we have
Sure.
time, you could give it now, because we have an exec, but we have one of our folks not showing up till I think 11:30.
Okay.
Huh? Was it 11?
He's
Okay,
running a
I
little,
can-
he's running a little late.
Yeah, so why don't
11:30.
you give us a report now,
Who's that?
that way,
Jim
Okay, and
Oliver.
then
it'll
I'll
make
just
it easier on the tail end.
Okay.
Or we
So-
could get it
Let's
out
talk
now.
about it.
So Mecox will be open tomorrow, and SAG the following day. Because the last time they were opened was the latter part of July, but as you all know, we've had significant amount of rain during July and August, so it necessitates another opening. However, there is greater ease to this opening due to it being after the end of endangered species season.
I have a question for you. Are we losing signage down there?
So one sign, yes, we lose those big red signs once in a while, but they get beat up too by the wind and the sand.
Right, I mean, okay, well, I just, whatever, it's $1,000.
So
No.
we leave them up, on the snow fence. We do take them down when we can, but we left it up during the summer because at Mecox, there's still a cliff from the
Okay.
winter long bridge.
I'm just wondering if they're getting stolen, or they're getting,
One may have.
gotten
may-
stolen.
I'll be
Yeah,
back.
Right, that's what I was getting at, it's like they're disappearing,
yeah.
like we're losing them,
One, the others just get beat up.
Okay.
So Scott, to answer your question before you go into exec, 49N covers bulkheads and following plans to achieve general straight lines connecting with adjoining properties, but it's only on a section carved out for steel bulkheads, specifically steel bulkheads between West Landing Road and Gathering Rocks Road in Hampton Bays. So I can't find any other language.
I thought there was something in there relative to, but that's okay, because
Yeah, it's fine.
that would plan, it made sense to follow the line, and stay that way, but
We
we'll
can add that.
we'll look at that.
Sure.
We'll look at that. But thank you, Mark. Is there anything else that the trustees, trustee Parrish? Nothing, you wanna go? We're good? All right, that being said, I think what we'll do now is I'll accept a motion to adjourn, and we're gonna go into executive session for the purpose of discussing litigation, personnel issues. I'll make the motion.
Second.
Seconded, trustee Powell, in favor?
Aye.
Great afternoon, everybody. All right, exec.
Pass your folders down, peoples.